What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Just a really quick one today. I just want to talk about the importance of balance in life, in goals, in relationships. Just the importance of balance. Period. You feel me? Um, Balance is essentially, you know, being able to stay in the middle, being able to have a certain level of adaptability, versatility, um, good and bad, focus, unfocus. I feel like balance is that imperfect perfection that the universe is, and having balance just allows for things to flourish, allows for things to develop in a way that is that takes care of its everyday, and also helps it to improve and evolve as well. And I don't really think you can have one without the other. Um, I feel like this message is so important and low key. And there ain't no low key about it. This message is for me, uh, because I've been struggling so hard. Like for the longest amount of time, I've been struggling with keeping balance in my life. It's very easy for me to go into extremes and overwork, push too hard, and I still don't have the answer to it. I have the hardest time resting and stopping, uh, letting myself sit down and indulge, especially when I'm focused on a certain thing, when I'm focused on a certain goal or a certain mission. I'm so bent on that mission sometimes that I don't want to see, any fluctuations and pull away from it. And what ends up happening is, y'all, I burn myself out. I do it all the time. I burn myself out with shit because I don't get off of it enough. Like I don't exercise that balance. Um, but that process is really letting me know and showing me how important balance is. Like it's important to have times where you just play. If you work, you gotta work and play. You know, it's times to focus and it's time to indulge and to let it go. To let those things go. It's a time for rest. It's a time to be active. It's a time to not be active. And feeding both sides of that equation is what creates sustainability. You know, like when I started this exercise thing, just getting fit, and like some of y'all know, before I started exercising, I was very idle, very like I wasn't doing nothing. Like I was just I ain't gonna say I wasn't doing nothing. I just was in that dark period and had very little energy. I would walk here and there, but I just decided, that I wanted help. My mom and dad passed from partially from having bad health, and I made a decision, a conscious decision, that I wanted to make it a lifestyle, and not just something that I'm doing. But what I learned really early is that, you know, to get to consistency, you have to implement times where you're not on. You have to like implement times when you indulge. You have to make times where you cheat. You have to have moments where you fall. You have to make room for that. Because nobody can be on all the time, and it's not realistic and it's not sustainable. Through my journey, I've gone with being on point uh, for an extended period of time, and then just completely falling off and like losing it, and then starting again, and then and started small, and then falling off and getting back on, and you know what I'm saying. And it's just all playing into the me learning the lesson um, of the importance of balance. And I think we could all use that. I don't care what stage we in our life. We could all use a little balance or a little more balance, you know. And so the way I'm kind of working that in is today I decided, today and tomorrow, which is hard for me. Like I say, I do a lot of stuff, y'all. I do a lot of stuff. Now YouTube is a part of it, and just multiple projects, multiple, you know, big projects that I'm trying to see to the end. I got people counting on me with those projects, and it's just like I'm like always on. I'm always on, and it get to the point like, for a person who has experienced a lot of success, have y'all noticed, like, and this is not pessimistic, this is just, it's just real. Have you noticed, once you get to a goal, like if you working consistently on something, once you get to a certain goal, it doesn't really have that novelty. It's just kind of like you just put in the work today and you realized, oh, I accomplished this. You know, I know for some people it's like, oh, I'm excited for and I have that sometimes, but a lot of the times it's more of a boring realization, you know, and I tend to have to remind myself of why I was doing it, because it's like, okay, I'm here, you know, and that's the reason why I practice gratitude and focusing on what it is that I'm doing it for. Like, one thing that I'm working on right now is a semen retention journey. For my fellas out there, like, semen retention, bro, is life changing. I'm talking about, it changed my life, man. And I'm at the beginning of it, you know. I was fortunate enough to do, last year I did a 90-day. I went on a 90-day streak, and man, I'm struggling making it to 30, bro. To be honest, I had 14s here and there, 21 a few weeks ago, but making it back to 30 has been a challenge for me. But I seen the power of that journey. But also, it's just kind of reinforcing balance and you know, being able to move just as well with the lows as the highs, you know. So I don't know, with that, I guess that's just the message. That's all I wanted to kind of, you know, ramble about today, is just balance and the importance of it. And ask you also, what's your thoughts on it? How important do you think balance is, and do you think we put enough importance on it as a culture? You know what I'm saying? Because I certainly feel like we don't. But that's why today or tomorrow, I'm giving myself rest days where I do not work. Like, I can enjoy, I can play, I can do something, and I have the hardest time. Yeah, I'm so uncomfortable in those modes, like, and that's what I'm trying to combat right now. So yeah, yeah. But I see the growth though, because there was a time where I had to force myself to work, and now it's almost like 360. But that's the message for today. Whether you are having a good day or a rough day, whether you are at the pinnacle of your success or barely making ends meet, the greatest place that you can come from is right where you are. Not perfect, just real. I wish you peace, love, and abundance every single day, but especially when it rains. And with that being said, I am signing out.